Hello everyone and welcome to the preview for the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. What is this, I hear you ask? Well, don't worry, that's what James and I are here today to discuss for you. Before we get into it though, I just want to show off this amazing canvas that the people down at the FMS store have been kind enough to send out to me. You can only actually purchase this canvas if you are a subscriber of the channel and a member of the DylanJamesGP VIP section, so click the link in the description to go and check it out. They have multiple different sizes and it's a phenomenal price for such a good wall decoration. So click the link in the description to go and check that out. So we're here today to give you a quick little run through of how the format's going to work and give you some predictions. So Friday and Saturday we'll start with 4 practice sessions. If you want to give us some insight into that one, James.
Yeah, so just over the course of the weekend, then they'll be given 9 tyre sets that they can use, 7 for the practice, I think, and qualifying, and then is it 1 for the heat race and 1 for the main race? So I'm not sure how much running we're going to see over the course of the 4 practice sessions, but there will be plenty of on-track action before we get into qualifying. Dylan, would you like to explain how qualifying works then?
So qualifying will be split into 2 random groups for a timed session of 12 minutes each to decide the grid order for 2 sprint races.
These heat races will be 2 10-lap races, and the top 6 from both of the heat races will make up the 12-placed grid all-star field for the 20-lap main race, which Dylan will tell you about.
So the starting lineup for the final race will be the top 6 of each heat in a row, and the pole position will be awarded to the heat winner with the fastest qualifying time. So the final race will be 20 laps split into 2 10-minute sprints to give the drivers kind of a half-time point in the middle.
Yeah, and that half-time point will allow the drivers to refuel and make any adjustments to the front wing that they want to after 10 laps before they then go to a 10-lap shootout for the checkered flag and to line their pockets with their share of the $1.7 million purse.
So now we have the schedule out of the way, we're going to hop into some predictions for who we think is going to walk home with the big £500,000. It's not £1 million for the race winner, as you might expect. Who do you reckon will be top 5, James?
So there's a few that I've got my eye on then. Obviously, it'd be silly to look past Joseph Newgarden after such a dominant performance in St. Pete. The 2-time champion and Indy 500 winner would be hoping that that form translates to the $1 Million Challenge. Other drivers I've got my eye on: reigning series champion Alex Palou, a specialist on the road courses, as we saw last season, winning in Portland at Road America and on Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. He'll be one to watch. And then a couple of more out there shouts that I've got written down. Certainly one to look out for will be Romain Grosjean. See how far he can drag that Juncos car, maybe into the final of the challenge. And Marcus Ericsson was quickest here at the Thermal Club testing before the 2023 season, so he's got good knowledge of the track. And the final one I'm looking out for is Alexander Rossi, who was fastest a couple of days ago at IndyCar's testing in Barber Motorsports Park. So maybe Aaron McLaren have got a good road course package. Those are my 5. Dylan, who have you got your eyes on?
So the top 5 I'm going to go for, I'm going to say Pato O'Ward in P1. I think he's got a bit of a knack for road courses, and I can imagine him wanting to walk home with a bit of cash because he likes winning prizes, especially Rolex watches at the Daytona 24 Hours. And in 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, I'm going to say, in no particular order, we're going to have Alex Palou in there. It'd be silly not to put some of the Penske drivers in there, so I'm going to say, Will Power and Joseph Newgarden, and then filling out the top 5, I'm going to throw it an odd one in the ring and say Rinus VeeKay.
Yeah, well, VeeKay had his best finish on a flat road course, was his best finish for his season last year for Ed Carpenter Racing, and they looked better in 2023 than they did, in 2024 than they did in 2023 around St. Pete. So the omens are good for Ed Carpenter Racing as well then. So Dylan, I want to throw something else at you then. Who do you think is going to be a big shock? What's a big name that isn't going to be making the final?
Oh, I'm gonna receive flack for this, but I'm gonna say Scott Dixon. I don't think Scott Dixon will make it into the final race.
That writing off the 6-time champion is brave, but it could happen. You know, sometimes it's a slow starter in some seasons. So perhaps Scott Dixon is one that could be missing out. I was going to say one of the Andretti cars definitely, I think, will be missing out. And I was going to say perhaps Colton Herta, often a road course specialist. But yeah, maybe this could be tricky for Andretti. And the last thing to keep my eyes on, I'll be looking out for RLL. We always talk about how RLL need to bounce back, and they were so good on the very flat flat Indy road course in 2023, winning both the pole positions. And yeah, maybe Lundgaard, Rahal and Fittipaldi have got a trick up their sleeves.
But hey, at the end of the day, it's IndyCar, isn't it? We can't really predict anything in this series, so throwing out top 5 predictions are never going to end overly well. So obviously, this is a non-point scoring race. James, have you got any more facts about the Thermal Club?
Well, the Thermal Club will be the first non-point scoring round for IndyCar since 2008, when, after the Champ Car and IRL merger, IndyCar had to fulfill its contractual obligations to race at Surfers Paradise. And instead of making it a championship race, they decided to make it a non-scoring race, and it was won by Australian Ryan Briscoe in his home nation.
The course is roughly 3 miles long and has 17 turns, making it a challenge for the drivers this weekend. But who have you got your eye on? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe for more IndyCar content. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video, but until then, take care and thank you very much for watching.